Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Game Over Ottawa on a Thursday afternoon. Absolutely wild game. First Charlie and Maude game in like 3 weeks. It's
Finally,
about
we're back.
time. It's about time. Anyway, first things first. I gotta hit the button. I'm gonna hit the button.
Hit that
Detroit,
button.
Detroit Red Wings. You just got sensed.
Woo!
What a game. But before we get into the game, we're going to get a quick word here from our friends, Betano. The NHL season is heating up, and there's never been a better time to get in on the action. Whether you're looking to hammer on a Austin Matthews anytime goal or ride the puck line with the Montreal Canadiens, our partners at Sign Up Expert want to make sure you're ready to sweat your bets with one of the best. Sign Up Expert is hooking up our listeners with one of the newest sportsbooks available in Canada, Betano. Betano is home to some of the best odds when it comes to betting on the NHL and offers unique markets including virtual soccer and basketball. All you have to do to get started is scan that QR code on your screen or click the link in the description to register and place that first bet. If you thought the Vancouver Canucks have been the best surprise of the season so far, wait until you try Betano. Don't walk, run to check out Betano today. Scan the QR code or hit the link in the description to get started and start sweating your bets with the best. Always remember to bet responsibly and within your means. Viewers must be 19 plus to sign up for Betano. So,
Where do we start?
5-4 OT win. Another 3 points for 20 points in 14 games for the slow start man himself, Tim
Oh,
Stützle.
so slow. He's been
What
so quiet. That's all over now.
He hasn't been that good. He hasn't he hasn't been that good. Only 20 points in 14 games. So I think because inevitably this show is going to go negative. It has to.
Yeah,
At
you
some
want to
point
start
it's going
positive?
to. We'll start out real positive. I think we
Yeah.
should stick with the positives to start out.
It ended
And
on a high
then
note, so
that it's yeah. It's gonna go south real quick, folks. Everyone who's watching, listening. We're gonna be as positive as we can to start things out. So biggest positive for you. What's your biggest positive takeaway out
it
of this
has to
game?
be it has to be Stützle, really, because you also had Kachuk with the 2 goals, but Stützle had that highlight reel pass on that second goal, and
Mm-hmm.
Kachuk's other goal was a little bit of a lucky tip in. Stützle getting an assist on that too, and then just those 2 highlight reel plays. Not only the amazing goal at the end of the game, but that pass as well to Kachuk. Like Stützle is showing why he is the best player of his draft class. He showed the entire country of Sweden what he's all about tonight.
I love that. Yeah. Just a phenomenal player, and sometimes I just have to kind of like pinch myself to be like, oh yeah, no, he is on my favorite hockey team. This guy is so good. Also worth bringing up, I think, as well. Daniel Alfredsson's first game behind the bench.
I can't believe it. I was not expecting to be seeing that at all.
It's so cool to see, and like I know there's been a lot of people talking about how much they want Alfie to be like in a bigger role, like whether it's as an assistant coach or assistant GM or something. But like selfishly, I kind of want him in a role that's like unfireable, if that
Yep.
makes sense.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Because I just like I love the idea of Daniel Alfredsson the coach or Daniel Alfredsson the guy like with a big role in management, but like as long as he is just a player development coach or advisor or something like that he can always be around the team forever. Because if he's ever in a position that's fireable, like the worst thing you could possibly do to this fan base is find a way to make Daniel Alfredsson leave, like whatever this would be, like the fifth time. So just,
Oh
but
God,
that
yeah.
said,
If he had another departure from the team, I can't even
oh
imagine. So let's try to avoid that as much as
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
And so with him being on the coach today, or being on the bench as a coach today, do we even know at this point what his official role with the organization is? It might have been said, but I can't even remember, to be honest.
I think I remember him being like in the player development area or something along those lines. I think they announced it at the. It might have been the home opener that they announced. I
Yeah, it
don't even
might have
remember.
been. I can't remember,
It's
but
hard to,
it's interesting. Regardless of what his official position is, they've got him on the bench, and maybe even though it's just because they were in Sweden, they maybe it's something they're interested in doing in the future. Maybe as an assistant coach, could be.
be interesting. Alfie's job is just Alfie. He's
Yep,
Alfie.
Alfie's
That's his
job
job.
is Alfie. That's so
He's
good.
like Ken. His job is Alfie.
Yep.
Um, um, yeah, crazy game. And worth also bringing up that the Sens are currently trying to reverse that Sweden curse from 2017.
Oh, definitely.
Um, so I actually during the game I went back to check because obviously we all know Sens went into that Sweden trip in the 17-18 season, 2 games against Colorado. Just the first games that they played following acquiring Matt Duchene, and they won both those games. But as soon as they came back to North America, the season fell apart. And I mean, obviously, I remember the season going very poorly from that point on. I did not remember just how bad it was immediately. Following those 2 games in Sweden, the Sens would go on to win one of their next 13 games.
Oh my God. Yeah, I pulled it up just now. And on the
It's
Wikipedia season recap,
brutal.
it's all red. All the losses highlighted in red. There is no green on my screen right now. Green for the wins. It is ugly.
It's so
So
brutal.
holy shit.
I
It's a low bar to clear, I guess, you know?
I must have repressed that number. That's unreal. I can't believe I forgot that.
Oh, there's some ugly losses in there too.
Just so rough. And only two of those losses were OT, I think. So
Hmm.
it was a 9, was that 9? No, wait, 10. Because we won 10 and 2, so that's 10 regulation losses in 13 games. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Funny enough, you know
Oh,
what the one thing I remember from that stretch is?
what was that?
Other than it being bad, the one thing I remember is the single win in that stretch against the New York Islanders, 6-5. Thomas Chabot had his first NHL goal in that game. I remember that. So that's the one positive, is that after the Sweden trip, we got Thomas Chabot into the NHL and got him going. And I remember he had a pretty good rookie season after that. So that's like the one positive that came from that. That's all the good thing that I
Yeah.
remember, at least.
Oh. So Sens are back in Sweden trying to reverse the curse. Um, they have Alfie with them this time, which means I think it's heading
Yeah,
in the right
he's the good
direction.
luck charm, I guess.
That that was gonna be my excuse if the Sens lost this game. I was gonna say they can't reverse the curse by repeating what they did last time, so they just got to lose both games. But no,
Oh my God.
we're gonna stick with the narrative of the Sens are the reverse of the Sweden curse starts today, and they're going undefeated through the rest of the season.
Yeah, we can at least pretend to have some optimism after the happy ending here today. We can keep it going for a little longer. The possibility of reversing the curse is still alive.
That's right. And a quick reminder for the chat. Anyone who's tuning in for the first time this season, we're changing things up a little bit this year where we kind of leave the end of the show for interacting with the chat. So by all means, throw whatever you want in there, whether it's a question or just a general opinion on the game and or teams. If any Red Wings fans are watching, and we'll get to that later on. But for now, how do you feel about getting into a little bit of the negatives?
Ooh, should we go into the negative yet, or do you think you want to go through a few more positives?
I'm
What
going
do
to be
you think?
real with you. I'm running out of positives. So if
You're
you have any
running out
more,
already, man.
feel free to throw something in because I'm running out already.
I'll give a quick shout out to Josh Norris, because I felt like he's been invisible for a few games, but was actually very engaged here tonight and got involved in
Yeah.
some physical play as well as the goal and an assist. Just a classic one-timer off the right-hand side from him for that goal. Exactly what we want to be seeing from him. Glad to see him chipping in the offense again. And Jake Sanderson was his usual self here today. I'm not sure. Yeah, he still ended up being a +2 despite that horrendous second period that the whole team had, and he had a lot of good rushes with the puck. So those were 2 more bright spots I would have here tonight. And of course, Korpisalo, not his fault at all for the blown lead.
No,
So I would
no.
include all of them as positives here too. We got to shout them out.
I'm glad you brought them up. I was all ready to get real sad, but
Yeah.
that's no. You're absolutely right though for highlighting those guys. They all had a great game. Um. Okay,
Were you gonna rip the band-aid off now?
I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off. please stop me from rambling because I will find a way to do it. So just cut me off whenever you want. But like, at no point in this game did the Sens look like the better team, like let alone dominant, despite being up 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
They had 4 goals on 10 shots.
Yeah.
Um, they ran into a goalie who couldn't make a save for the first 21 minutes, and a defense that, like, honestly, some of the worst defending I've seen from any team all season in the first, like, 21, 22 minutes of this game from the Red Wings. And, like, I don't want to take anything away from that Tim Stützle pass to Brady Tkachuk. Unbelievable pass. But, like, there was no defending on that play. The pass
Mm-hmm.
itself is insane. I don't want to take away from the pass. An unbelievable play. It's an unbelievable play that probably should never be a goal.
For a second,
But
I thought you were gonna go at Timmy for falling down on that play in the first
oh
place.
my god.
I think it's very funny that Timmy can just dive anyway and then still get back up and produce a goal all in one motion. So good
Yeah.
on him for not quitting on the play, I guess, because sometimes he has been trying to sell the calls this year and just staying down. But
Yeah.
good perseverance on that one.
Yeah. Um yeah, so I don't know how you feel about it, but it feels like as soon as they hit 4-0, it's like it felt like
You knew that
it
they were
felt
gonna sit back.
oh yeah, like they immediately took their foot on the gas, but like they were only their foot was pushing on the gas only up. They were only going like at like 40. So
Hmm.
when they take their foot off the gas even a little bit, they just stopped.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
just I don't know, like you can't sit back on a 4-0 lead when you have 10 shots through a period and change. So yeah, I don't know if you felt I don't know, more confident than I was through the first little bit after they hit 4-0. Like, I mean, I didn't think the Red Wings were going to come back that quickly,
Hmm.
but in the back of my mind, I was thinking, okay, well, like you need to score more.
When Raymond had scored, and I think it was about 10 minutes left in the period at that point, I was like, okay, I'll be confident if we can keep it at 4-1 going into the third period. And then it was 4-4 going into the third period. So whatever confidence that I did have got dashed completely, like within a matter of minutes, basically. That second period was the worst period of hockey they played all season, bar none.
And I know the narrative around this team is that they can't play the second period. And like I'm terrible at math, so anyone watching, feel free to correct me on this. But I went through the game so far this season, and I believe second periods the Sens have been outscored 22-17 so far.
I can't confirm, but you're probably right.
I,
It's definitely gonna be negative.
it's negative, but it's not nearly as negative as as I assumed it would be.
Hmm.
I don't know if the Sens have just like lucked into a couple goals in the second period, but I always seem to come away from the second period thinking this team looks awful. So I was actually kind of surprised by the fact that it was only like they're only being outscored by like 5-ish. And maybe I mean I might have completely gotten that wrong, but I went through the scores and just tried to add them up, but I might have screwed something up in there. But yeah, not nearly as
I
bad
think
as I expected actually.
I think part of it could be that we're also often down by 2 goals after the first period too. So regardless of whether or
Oh
not we
yeah.
allow a bunch in the second period, you still kind of just feel not very encouraged after the second period in a game. Most of the time so far this year, it's been rare that
Yeah,
we've been leading. Like I want to see the stats on how much the Sens have actually been playing with the lead this season because I don't think it's been very much.
it can't be. It definitely can't be. Um
I wonder if I can find that.
that would be I would love to hear that stat. Um and I mean that's pretty much it as far as like just the whole team effort or lack thereof after the first period, cuz even the third period wasn't great.
You know what? If this site is correct, called morehockeystats.com, the Sens actually have a pretty decent amount of time when leading. They're actually like about 10th overall, I think. Um,
Can they hold it together then?
which is
Holy shit.
better than I thought it would be. Yeah. Holy crap. I wonder how much of that is just blowing leads afterwards though. We have oh wow, we have the least amount of minutes playing tied in the league. So that shows you that we are not in too many close games where it's like next goal wins type of thing, you know? It's always either like up by
Wow.
2 or down by 2. We have, so oh my god, it's really weird because we're like 10th most for time leading. We are dead last
Okay.
for time tied, and then we are like 6th or 7th most for time trailing. So our time leading isn't that bad, but it's
Wow.
because we're never tied, and then our time trailing is also bad. So that's interesting for sure.
That's really interesting. Wow. Well, I mean, how often do we watch a game and Sens are down 1-0 5 minutes in? Like it kind of checks
Hmm.
out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of early goals too will add to that. By the way, do you want to guess how many minutes the San Jose Sharks have been leading for this season?
Oh my. Okay.
In what? It's like 14 games or something now. Take a guess,
Oh,
because obviously they're dead last.
wasn't one of their wins in OT?
Um, can't remember, but they were close games. Both of their wins were very close.
Through 14-ish games, we'll call it 15-ish games. I'll say San Jose's been in the lead 24 minutes.
Okay, so 24 minutes would actually rank in the top 10.
What?
Yeah, the Sharks have led for 8 minutes and 42 seconds. 8 minutes of time leading.
Has this just been like a really like
Holy crap. The
has this
best, if you want to know,
what?
the best is the Canucks with 35 minutes, 35 and a half minutes, and they're 6 minutes more than the Bruins. So they're
Is
way
that
ahead of
it?
everybody. Yeah.
Is this season just like weirdly close so far or what?
It,
Because
it,
like I feel like being up for a total of like just over a period through 15 games shouldn't put you in the top 10. That sounds weird to me. I mean, also this isn't like a stat that I'm like, looking at a lot, so I don't
mhm.
really know the
I'm looking
trends.
at this for the first time, so it's interesting to learn all of
It's
this.
so weird to me.
It must be that a lot of games are much closer, so the time leading for a lot of
Maybe.
teams isn't that much. And like I guess the Sens with their 23 minutes of time leading probably can be attributed to certain games like the Flyers game where they were leading for actually the entire time since Chychrun scored like 2 minutes into the home opener. Um
Yeah.
so
The
lots
Caps
of
game
that.
too, I think, probably. Because that was like what,
Mhm.
6-1, so they must have been leading for majority of that one.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's crazy.
I guess
Wow.
I don't know if this is like per like just 5-on-5 or anything like that. It doesn't say,
Oh,
but
maybe, yeah. That's
because
nuts
obviously
though.
there if there's a game where you're leading the whole time, it's like 60 minutes.
That's insane.
But yeah, pretty
That's
crazy.
nuts.
The
Okay, that's a
Sens
really great stat.
are often tied and trailing. At least we had one period of a period and a half of leading here today, and then we got back to the tied. We got some nice tied minutes in there today. But
Yeah.
I guess we were talking about that second period, the horrible second period, and if you want to try to pull a silver lining from it, which is damn near impossible, but
Yeah.
this is one of those cases where I don't really trust advanced stats too much, or they don't really match the eye test as much, because the Sens, according to Natural Stat Trick, only allowed 2 high danger chances against in the second period, which is insane. How? Like a couple of those Detroit goals probably weren't high danger chances, like the shot going off of Perron's glove and in, and then the fourth goal I think it was we put in our own net off of a centering pass. So some goals that didn't happen from high danger chances, but like how that period was so bad, I can't believe that number isn't higher.
I wonder if like because I don't actually know what the definition of a high danger chance is for something like that. Like I'm picturing that I can't remember whose stick it was that blew up, but it was that bit. It was that in
Oh,
the third period when there was like
Cost Despair on the one
yeah, it
timer,
was
right?
was it was Augustus right? Yeah, because there was five Sens all below the slot,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Oh, that
I
picture
would.
you posted was so funny.
Oh my god. So if so if that shot is taken, like and the stick doesn't blow up, I would call that a high danger chance, but that's because the guy was completely open and not necessarily because of the positioning. So I don't know if there's like much context that they add. I have no idea. I have
Yeah, I
no
don't
clue.
know. To me, I just kind of assume that it's like uncontested shots from the slot, but I don't know. It could be like based more off of rush chances and stuff like that. I'm
Could
not
be.
sure.
I have no idea.
But
Um
that's I feel like it's indicative of the Sens strategy to just kind of sit back and collapse into the slot and allow a ton of perimeter shots, which today
Brutal.
obviously wasn't the right game plan. We just let Detroit keep shooting and shooting, and even if they weren't getting the highest quality chances, they were just getting the puck luck and getting those bounces in, where again, it bounces off of Perron, bounces off of, I think it was JBD's stick, and into the net, because we're just sitting back and we're not pressuring them enough. So
Yeah.
I don't like that defensive strategy from DJ, but that's what we've been seeing all season.
Yeah, I tweeted during the game. I was like, this team stinks. Like, still fire DJ, but like this team stinks. Majority of this game, they looked awful,
Yeah.
awful. And
If it wasn't for Timmy Stutzla, we'd be coming on here just like absolutely raging if we
oh,
lost
it'd
this
be
game.
brutal.
Thank
And
God that he saved us from that a little bit to just be a little more chill today.
what an absolutely insane goal too. With
Yeah,
what, two
that's gonna
seconds
be
on the
like
clock?
top 10 goals of the year right there.
It has to. The fact that it was an OT with 2 seconds left, like even without that context, it's insane. But with that context, it is nuts.
Hmm. I love it's a funny replay to watch too, because Reimer was kind of in position for the puck to just hit him in the mask, but I think he was so stunned by the fact that Stützle actually got his stick on that he kind of ducked and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
tried to flail back, and it looked really funny. Like he got scared of the puck, like he's scared of gay people, and it was really funny.
Couldn't have happened to a worse guy.
Yep.
Um, so with that, I'm gonna segue back into some negatives here because there's something I want to talk about, and it's not going to be easy. I'm actually a lot concerned with Jakob Chychrun's defensive play.
Yeah, that's fair.
His offense is unreal. Like he's right around. I don't think he got a point, but he's like what 2 points away from being a point per game at this point of the season. Like dude's
Hmm.
unbelievably talented offensively. Um, According to Money Puck, among defensemen, he is currently tied for the most defensive zone giveaways. Um,
Oh, really? Shit.
yeah,
I haven't been looking at Money Puck, so I don't.
it's
That's
him.
I
It's
bet that
him and John
Stutzla has a
Carlson
lot too.
tied for
John
first.
Carlson as well. Is that
Yeah,
just among defensemen?
yeah, just among defensemen.
Okay,
Obviously, like
because I
the
feel like
forward, yeah, forward numbers
if you
are
include
way higher.
forwards, like Stutzla's gonna be at the top for forwards. I bet.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I don't know how Sousa would be in defensively, but like in general, like yeah, it's like it's the best forwards who are like leading the league in giveaways. That's just it. They're the ones who have the puck,
I
right?
guess so.
But
I guess is it specifically D zone giveaways,
specifically, yeah, he's tied for
or
first
or is it
among
all?
defensemen for D zone giveaways, which is
Okay, yeah, I'm
concerning.
checking this out right
Um,
now. Oh yeah, way
but
more
I'm
than
like,
anyone else on the team too.
yeah, so I'm genuinely concerned about how he's been in his own end. And
Hmm.
there's like some of his decision making. I mean, I think a lot of his I think he makes a lot of poor decisions in the defensive end, and I think that leads to all the giveaways. Um, but just like between that and like God, that brutal holding the stick penalty on that like extremely important 5-on-3 the Sens should have had.
Yeah, that was a killer because
Just
we could have won the game right there in regulation
yeah.
if we capitalized on that.
I mean, not to
That
say
just
that I think
a
the Sens are going to
stupid
score five
penalty
on
to
three.
take. Oh, of course we wouldn't have, but negating it entirely by taking a penalty, I think that's pretty rare for a 5-on-3 that the team that has the advantage actually ends up taking a penalty. Like, so that's inexcusable.
Yeah. I can't remember who tweeted it, so I'm sorry for not crediting you on this, but I believe I saw someone tweet that the Sens are 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 on 5-on-3 power plays so far this season.
Hmm. I remember looking into it last season, and we had like by far the worst percentage in like February or March, so like through a good chunk of the season, and we had the most 5-on-3 opportunities, or like top five of the most in the league, and we had only scored two. The only teams with worse percentages than us last season were the teams that only had like one or two chances the whole time and didn't score any. So we suck at five on
Awful.
threes, and it's really weird. I don't know if the pressure just gets to them too much, because obviously we have the talent. Our regular 5-on-4 power play is usually pretty good, even though it has
Mhm.
off nights, and it was pretty bad tonight. But the 5-on-3 is just always way worse, and it's really weird.
Yeah. Also worth noting, Detroit 0 for 3 on the power play. Um, So I think that
That's
means we
good.
have
That's a
two.
positive.
Yeah, I think the Red Wings have 2 power play goals in the last 9 games.
Hmm.
Um,
They had 3 alone in the first matchup against us, so I'm happy that they didn't get a single one today. That we'll take that, you know?
yeah. So and I do want to say, like, good job sends PK, but like, let's be real, the Red Wings power play has been even worse than the Sens.
Yeah, they've just been
So
cold in general lately.
yeah, like Sens 1 for 6 on the power play. Come on, guys. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Brutal.
rough
Um,
stuff.
but yeah, I just wanted to bring up that Chychrun, while he's been unreal offensively, like, I'm so impressed by his offensive play. Um, Everything else has me very worried.
This might be kind of weird, but does he remind you of prime Dion Phaneuf? His size and his shot ability, that heavy shot, but he kind of sucks defensively.
Loosely,
A little bit. I don't
um,
know why he gives me that vibe. Like not Phaneuf when he played on the Sens, more like Phaneuf when he was on the Leafs. I don't know why, but I get that
maybe
vibe.
Calgary.
Yeah, more like Calgary Phaneuf when he was putting up lots of points. I don't know. I get that vibe. I feel like he has the talent and he needs a coach that can actually instill a good defensive system and have him breaking these bad habits. And unfortunately, I don't think DJ is the coach to do that for literally any defenseman, which sucks.
I will say, every time I see a picture of Jakob Chychrun, despite the fact that he's like 2 or 3 years younger than me, I feel like I need to call him sir.
Oh my god. So with that
Like,
buzz cut too, he looks so serious, like he means business.
yeah, I mean, and if you look at his point totals, he does. Like, he
Hmm.
absolutely does. I'm just like, buddy, hold on to the puck a little bit longer, please.
Definitely.
Um,
I'll say for the $4.5 million contract for this year and next year, still very good results from him overall, but we definitely need him
yeah,
to clean up that defensive play. I hope that when Shabbat is back, he'll settle in a little bit more and not having to play 30 minutes like every night. Um his ice time was down a little bit tonight. They started to ride Anderson or Sanderson a little bit more. And obviously you want to give Branchstrom a bit of ice time in Sweden, but yeah, it's been rough for Chychrun defensively, so you're totally right on that.
yeah. I don't want to, like, I'm not saying he's bad or anything, everyone. I just wanted to be like, I'm at the point now where I'm starting to get a little concerned if it doesn't turn around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Kaya in the chat says Chychrun looks like a GTA NPC. I love that.
that's great. Maybe he'll, yeah, maybe he can be a playable character in GTA 6.
Oh my god.
That's
GTA
actually, when
Ottawa.
when I get GTA 6, I'm gonna make my online character look like Jacob
Make your
Chychrun.
character Jakob Chychrun. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, so, um, I think that's it for negatives for me. I think I'm pretty much complained all I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, luckily we didn't have to spend the whole time complaining because if it had gone a different way in overtime or went to a shootout and we lost, I feel like we would have still had the positives, but we would have just been like 10
Yeah.
times more angry. So it's like, okay, we can breathe now. Like that wasn't good, and we still have a lot of criticisms, but could have been way worse.
If the Sens lost in the shootout, I would have been furious because I wouldn't have been able to, like, pin the game losing goal on anyone because
Oh
the
yeah.
shootout's stupid.
Hmm.
It's so stupid. Just do 10-minute 3-on-3. You'll never have a shootout again. Come on.
Yeah, thank God Stützle saved us from having to watch a shootout.
I still can't believe that goal. I still I
Hmm.
still can't believe
It's
that
ridiculous,
goal.
man. When
Absolutely
once we're
nuts.
finished, I'm just gonna go and just sit there and watch it on loop for like an hour.
Yeah. I tweeted asking if you can play third base because, my God, between that goal and the Batherson batting a goal out of the air, let's get these
Yeah,
guys in some Blue Jays jerseys.
the Jays could use them. They couldn't hit worth crap in the playoffs. They could use Timmy Stützle out there.
Yeah. Well, I think with that we'll take a look at the chat unless you have anything else to bring up for the game. I'm pretty much out of positives and negatives. I'm just kind of like, well, I'll take the win. I'm happy with the win.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say is I saw the deserve to win meter posted by Zubcast on Twitter, and
Oh boy.
I can't believe that it was in our favor. That's
Yeah,
astounding to me.
right.
I gotta like dig into
What?
how that works. It was 53%, 53.8% for Ottawa, and that makes no sense to me. Like
Hard disagree.
how
Hard
it must have
disagree.
something to do with those high danger stats high danger chance stats,
It
like
could
I
be.
mentioned earlier, because Detroit's were surprisingly low, despite the number of shots. The total, I never said the total. It was 8-5 in favor of Ottawa, which is really weird. But somehow, like, yeah, the deserve to win meter weird today, because I really don't feel like we deserve to win. That was the complete opposite of a 60-minute effort. It was a 20-minute effort, and then just kind of hanging on for the third period, basically.
If you said it was 60-40 in favor of Detroit, I'd think that was off too. Like
Yeah, you'd think that was low.
I was
It was
in my
getting
brain, I
really
was like,
painful to
it's
watch.
yeah, I thought for sure Detroit would hit like 65-70% on the deserve to win. Like
Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
weird.
very weird.
Well, not now I want to know how that works because I have no idea. Because usually I look at it and I agree. Like usually
Hmm.
it just
Usually
comes
it
down to
makes
the eye
sense.
test more than anything, right?
Yeah.
But just awful. Awful. This team is brutal and I have zero confidence in them. And I enjoyed myself today.
Yeah, at least they're still fun sometimes. They're not good. They're definitely not good, but they're still fun. And at least we got to beat the Wings, because if we had two losses to the Wings
Oh,
already this season, that would have sucked.
like
Like the last game against the Wings, we were getting roasted by their fans in the chat, eh? So it's a lot
yeah,
quieter today. They didn't all come chirp us today.
it's nice. But yeah, I think God, mixed messages here because I'm saying this team stinks, and I firmly do think that this team stinks more often than not. But if the Sens lost this game and then missed the playoffs by 4 points between this game and the first Detroit game, two blown leads, I'd lose it, I'd lose it. I don't think the Sens are going to get to that point though, unless something drastic is done. So. I'm not hearing you. I think you're muted potentially.
Damn, I thought I unmuted. Sorry, I had to cough
There we
earlier. I
go.
was just saying we're gonna need like a 10-game heater to get back into things at this point. Because it
Oh,
sucks. We're exactly at 500 right now, and I think we're still last in the division, or at least like
so
tied for
stupid.
last or something at this point. That
So
sucks.
stupid.
I hate the Atlantic Division, man. Yeah, we're still last because every team ahead of us has the loser points. Tampa with 4 overtime losses. They have one less win than us, but they're still ahead.
It's
But
official with this division. The Blue Jays are officially the hockey Sens. The two my two
yeah.
teams play in the two worst divisions in their
Hmm.
sports.
And they're
Ah,
both the type of team that had all these like young stars coming up, right? But then just can't put it together to
can't put it
actually
together.
succeed.
The Blue Jays have made the playoffs 3 times with the current core. 0 playoff game wins.
Yeah,
Anyway,
0 wins.
we'll stick with hockey for
At
now.
least they can make the playoffs.
I'm gonna pitch game over Toronto Blue Jays just so I can scream every night. 162 nights of screaming.
Oh God, you lose your
I think
voice.
with that we'll head to the chat.
Hmm.
Anything pop out to you immediately while I scroll my way back?
Everyone agreeing about the deserve to win a meter. Louis saying that Josh from the Zoomcast was the one who posted it, and Louis said that his jaw dropped when he saw it. And Saint of Cost saying, "I feel like we're never on the good side of the deserve to win a meter," which that's probably right. It's
Yeah,
getting. I got to see the average shot metrics, but we started off the season very well. I remember after the first 4 games or so being like, "Oh, our shot metrics are really good. We're out shooting every team, and we're limiting teams to like just 20 or so shots." And then that's totally gone in the toilet now. It's probably just horrible stats for that at this point.
yeah. From Kelly in the chat, who now that I'm gone is the biggest Sens fan in the UK.
Oh yeah.
She says, I found a tweet a tweet I wrote in 2018 about us falling apart in the second, and it's pretty depressing to know not much has changed on that.
Oh man. Yeah, 5 years ago, nothing's changed, eh?
Nothing, not a thing.
Hmm.
And then Adam goes, and then Adam Fireberg goes, "That Sens hockey, baby." Yep,
Yep, Sens
you
hockey,
got it,
baby.
dude.
It's always interesting. It's always frustrating. At least sometimes we get to celebrate a win. So could be worse today.
Awful. Um,
I suppose Adam was also
Kaya.
asking, what's that?
Kaya all caps. No, because why did he duck? Like your job is to stop the puck.
Yeah, that
Was it a
replay is
rainbow
so
or
funny.
something?
Yeah, there was rainbow tape on the puck secretly.
Yo, next time
That's how
anyone
you beat
plays,
Reimer.
Yeah, next time anyone plays Reimer, just everyone use Pride Tape, and then he'll fuck off. Like,
If everyone used Pride Tape in a game against Reimer, he would allow 10 goals. He would like
yeah.
pull himself from the game like Patrick Roy in protest. Like, I can't have these sticks near me. I can't have these rainbows near me.
Oh, let's see here.
I was gonna say Adam was also asking on what our feelings are about DJ getting fired at this point. It's really back and forth, isn't it? Because I feel like even though we're winning, like no one we beat Calgary pretty easily, but no one was super impressed with that performance. And then we we win this game, but obviously no one's gonna be impressed by that too. So it's like we've won 3 of the last 4, which is good. So by the pure results, you have to give DJ credit, but by the by the eye test, you certainly don't have to give him credit. I would say it's a weird situation right now. Like being +7 goal difference and still being last in the division, it's a weird spot to be in.
Yeah. If it weren't for the fact that they were in Sweden, I'd have fired him after this game. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
awful game. Sens
They
win,
like
awful game.
make the decision. If we were at home and this happened, just make the decision as soon as that game becomes 4-4. It's like even if you win the game, like you're out of here.
Yeah, yeah, the second this game was tied up, I was like, okay, it's like you got to do something. Like, I mean, we're gonna go back on the Kachuk and Giroux comments about how, like, like I think Kachuk specifically was like, we're trying really hard, and like I don't doubt
Not
that
in the
there's
defensive zone.
effort in there, but like, guys, there's like on that last power play in the third period, I think there was about like 20 consecutive seconds where the Sens were just had the puck in the neutral zone, and like whoever the D was with the puck was circling back, and the other 4 guys were just standing there.
Yeah, and I think I remember noticing this too. All 4 of the Detroit penalty killers were just standing along the blue line. And like, it's funny because we complained about dump and chase, but that's the one time they didn't do the dump and chase. And that's when you should, because
Yeah,
all the Detroit blue liners are just standing there, not even in the defensive zone. So dump it in and outskate them. But they spent so long trying to do like they did like 3 drop passes, and eventually
yeah,
Stützle tried to carry it in. That was pathetic.
it was awful. This team can't run a power play. The PK, if you're not playing against a team who's rocking a 2 for their last whatever 35, 36, something like that, then like the PK would have been lit up by anyone else.
Yeah.
Like, this team sucks. I'm happy they won. This team sucks a lot of the time, and like DJ isn't helping. He might not be hurting sometimes, but he's not helping.
Definitely.
So
I
I'm
agree.
still firmly on fire DJ. Fire DJ.
I guess a good question from Barticus in the chat is well, he said how many goals will Anton Forsberg let in next game, but I'll frame it more as in, would you start Forsberg next game just because it's in Sweden, or would you go with Korpisalo, who's like cemented himself at the starter at this point? What do you think?
Don't know. If Forsberg bought like 40 tickets for family, I'd say fine. Even if like Korpisalo, I don't put anything tonight on Korpisalo. He made amazing save after amazing save after amazing save just to continue. Like, at some point, the dude had to have been gassed. Like,
Yeah,
when you're
give
letting
him
in
a
a few
rest.
goals, none of them his fault. Like, there's nothing you can do on that. So like, I want to give Korpisalo the net until further notice, but also, dude faced like 40 shots. And I
I
don't know
think
how many games in a row has he played now. Like, he could probably use a day off.
yeah, Forsberg only played the second half of the back-to-back against Vancouver. Other than that, I think it's been 5 or 6 in a row for Korpisalo. So
Yeah,
it's a good excuse to give him a day off, and you need Forsberg to find his game again, because if Korpisalo gets injured or if he gets burnt out from playing so many games in a row, like we can't rely on just him. We need Forsberg to get his game back. So hopefully he can do that playing in his home country in front of his home fans, and maybe like you said, maybe some friends and family. Hopefully he can have a good game. I think they're going to start him, and I think I'm cool with that decision.
yeah, and you can't expect Forsberg to come in and play well if he's playing once every 10 days. Like, it's just not
Exactly.
going to happen, right? So I'm
Yeah.
completely with you. You're absolutely right that they need to try and maybe not do like a 1A 1B, but maybe do like a 2 for Korpisalo, 1 for Forsberg, until like, at least give Forsberg a chance to win even just like a normal amount of games for a backup goalie, because at this point like
Hmm.
it's all Korpisalo so far, I think. So
Yeah, because we need Forsberg to regain his form, or at least find out whether or not he's going to. Because worst case, you switch him out for Sogard, right? So,
yeah.
get him in there and see if he can actually get back to how good he's been the last 2 seasons, because he has been very good for us up until just a couple of bad games so far this year. So,
Hmm.
I think we got to get him in there, and if he keeps having bad games, then we'll have a discussion about it. But for now, I see no reason not to put him in tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're also worth bringing up on the subject of goaltending how incredible Belleville's goaltending has been so far this
Oh
season.
yeah, for sure.
Nuts, absolutely nuts. So both Sogard and Merlinen have looked phenomenal. So,
It is also
maybe
very funny that Belleville blew a 4-0 lead yesterday as well. Thank God that the Ottawa Senators actually won, unlike the Belleville Senators when blowing a 4-0 lead.
awful, awful. So yeah, I haven't checked the goalie stats since that. So maybe a bit of regression there.
Yeah, I think Merlinen was in net. I doubt that it was his fault though. It was probably very similar. I think that game was 4-0 in the first period, so it probably played out very similar to this game, uh, where they just kind of sat back after getting the big lead. And Pierre Dorion would always talk about having both the NHL and AHL team playing the same system, so it makes sense that that would happen.
Yeah. Okay, completely changing the subject here.
Hmm.
From Delta in the chat. So, a few shows ago, we were talking about like an all-time name line for the Sens that we could put together, because like the Sens, like we were all talking about. I think Louis was in the chat at that point too. So we were talking about Angus Crookshank a lot,
Oh
and
yeah.
so we were talking about like who were like the best names to ever play for the Sens and make a line out of it, and everyone brought up Klinkhammer, which
Oh,
great
definitely.
name as well.
I will
So
always remember him just because of that name.
yeah, so here Delta in the chat has finished that line, because you were like, who do you put with Klinkhammer and Crookshank to
Yeah.
get the greatest
What
name
do
of
we
all
get?
time?
What do we got?
Uh, Sprague Cleghorn. Never heard of the guy, but that's amazing.
What? How do you spell that? I gotta Google this guy.
SpragueCleghorn. That
Holy
is a
crap.
Klinkhammer
Sprague
Cleghorn
is a
Crookshank.
badass name.
Unreal, unreal
Yeah,
line.
okay. He was playing on the Sens in the 1920s. Holy crap.
Wow.
That's an old school name. Sprague Cleghorn. It has to be old school because it's nothing I've ever heard before.
Cleghorn, yeah.
Holy crap. He had 16 goals in 21 games for the Sens in 1920. Not too bad.
Put his number. What number was he? Put it up. Put it in the rafters.
His jersey number. Oh man, I gotta like dig on Google Images to find him in a Sens jersey. It's all pictures of him in a Habs jersey. Holy crap. That is quite the find right there to pull up this name. That's one for the history books. From the
That's
history
that.
book, straight out of
Great
there.
work on that one, Delta. That's
Yeah,
a
holy crap.
that's a name. That's a name.
Hmm.
So it's settled. The all-time Sens name line: Klinkhammer, Crookshank once he's called up, and Cleghorn. Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Perfect. Um. Yeah. Anything else to add there? We 45 minutes has flown by.
Yeah, it feels like it's only been 20 in my mind. I think one more chat question. I'll twist the framing on this again. Saint of Cost asked if DJ is fired soon, who's your first choice based on who's available right now? And the way I'm going to phrase this question to you is because there's only been one coach fired so far, would you take Jay Woodcroft as a replacement for DJ Smith?
I mean, Edmonton's poor start is not his fault whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm not, especially because he's only been with the team since last year. So I don't really know his style very well. I've only
Hmm.
watched a handful of Oilers games dating back to since he was hired last season. Or like a made head coach. I don't know. Like, unfortunately, I'm not educated enough to have like a good response to this. Like
Hmm.
in my mind, I believe I think I saw that like despite the fact that he was fired, he has like one of the best winning percentages of any Oilers coach in history,
I
just
think it is the
because they went on
best.
such a run after
Yeah.
last season.
When they hired him mid-season, they went I think it was 26-9 to make the playoffs when they hired him.
Wow.
And then he had the full season last year, which was good too. So, like, I guess in my opinion, I don't think he would necessarily be my first choice because other than like he has a small sample size in the NHL, right? I might want someone more experienced, but
Mm-hmm.
he is also a recent coach compared to someone like Patrick Waugh being rumored who's been out of the league for a long time. At least he knows the current NHL, and he managed to turn around a team that is like all offense and not so great defense and goaltending. He managed to have good seasons with them and make the playoffs. Maybe that could be good in Ottawa. Maybe he could somehow instill a defensive system that can get this team winning games, even though the defense on paper like isn't that great and hasn't been performing great. And maybe he can do something there. I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to it if he was the choice. He probably wouldn't be my first choice though.
Do you have a name in mind as your number one?
Um, Probably not because, like I said about him being a recent coach as opposed to coaches who have been gone for a while, like Claude Julien always comes to mind. Everyone usually likes him, but he hasn't coached for a while as well. And like I'm not opposed to Patrick Waugh either. I know some people would hate it, but again, I don't know if I would want a coach who's been gone for a long time. At least he did go to the QMJHL and had a lot of success there,
Oh yeah,
so
like
that's good.
unreal record in junior.
So I wouldn't be mad about hiring him either. Um, Probably those two guys and Jay Woodcroft would probably be my top three for now. Out of the people who are like rumored to be available, because like when the Oilers hired No Block, no one even knew who he was. Everyone had to Google who he was because he wasn't like one of the popular names in the media. So it could end up being that we get some team's AHL coach that we've never heard of before, right?
Yeah.
Could be some up
Well,
and coming guy.
it's good for everyone to know that if you at any point were involved with Connor McDavid, you're gonna get a job with the Oilers.
Yeah, they're handing out jobs as long as you have spoken to McDavid before in your professional
Yeah,
career, they'll hire you.
doing everything they can to keep him around. Yeah, and you brought up Claude Julien. The fact that there are like talks of trying to reunite him and friggin' Shirelli.
Oh God, no! If we get Julian, don't bring Shirelli with him. Hell no.
That's oh, like I wanted to be like, okay, well let's talk about like GM possibilities, but I don't even want to like
No,
think about that.
I'm cool with Steos for now. He can just keep the job
Yeah,
as his own for a little while.
I have no idea how that's gonna go. I don't know if how I haven't seen any like reports on like how active they are, like if they're like actively searching for anyone right now, or if they're just kind of letting things play out for a bit first. I have no idea,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, I
I
guess
don't
we'll
know.
see.
We'll see how it all goes. Um, yeah, I think with that we'll call it a show. Do you want to set up your next episode?
Yeah, it's gonna be the super early game on Saturday, starting at 11 a.m. So I assume the stream will probably be live sometime like 2:30 to 3 p.m. At least it's on a weekend, so hopefully everyone can come join us for that. I will be bringing on everyone's favorite Matt Bosty to have a chat about that one. Hopefully we can talk about another win.
Can you get him to bring his sword on the
Oh
show?
my God. I'll ask him. I'll ask him.
Yeah,
He,
see
I
see if you can get
believe.
like a rotisserie chicken to
Oh yeah, the
get with the
rotisserie chicken
sword.
for good vibes. Yeah,
Live on Game Over. If we can get like a live sword to rotisserie chicken on Game Over, that'd be
dude, we can make it a game over mukbang. It's like around lunchtime during the game. We'll just eat rotisserie chickens during the show.
oh, there you go. Everyone eats a rotisserie chicken. We should start that every time the Sens win. We eat a rotisserie chicken.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think he
Awesome.
was undefeated as a guest on Game Over last year, so hopefully that continues.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
If me and him remember correctly. I can't remember. I remember I had him on 4 times last year. We beat the Flyers, we beat the Preds, we beat the Coyotes. And then there was one other game that I don't remember, but I think it was 4-0. So hopefully that's good
Okay.
vibes for the next one.
Well, also worth bringing up, real quick before the show wraps. I forgot to bring this up earlier with the fact that like there are 4 teams going to Sweden. two of them are the Ontario teams. They don't play each other.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, okay, it's probably like a gate revenue thing. Like they want to keep that going. But both of the Sens games are home games anyway. So the Sens are losing 2 home games this season by playing them in Sweden. So how does that, like, are teams like, like very like handsomely like compensated for this? I have no idea.
I have no idea how that works. During the broadcast too, I think they mentioned that both of the Leafs games are considered away games. So
That makes
MLSE
sense.
is not giving up any home revenue, that's for sure. They're all about that money, but um different
Before anyone
scenario
makes
for the
any
Sens, I
attendance
guess.
jokes, before anyone
Yeah.
makes any attendance jokes about how the Sens are going to get more money in Sweden than they would in Ottawa, it's been good. Attendance has been good.
I thought I thought it was interesting to see how the crowd was split today too. I didn't know. I think it was, would you say it was probably like on TV, it probably looked like 60-40 Red Wings or maybe 70
Yeah.
30
Which, I mean,
Makes
like, how
sense
can you
because
blame them?
The Wings were a dynasty with Zetterberg and Lidstrom, so it's
Like,
understandable.
Swedish Central for like a decade plus
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
Detroit. Johan Franzen Swedish, right?
That's true. He was there too.
And that's it. They never got a Hall of Fame Swedish guy to end his career after that. That's it. That's all of
Yep.
them.
There were no other
Also,
ones.
another stupid thing that I'm mad about is I just looked it up today and I found out that in 1989 the Red Wings got both Nick Lidstrom and Sergei Fedorov in the same draft.
Goddamn.
That's stupid. So
That's crazy.
Fedorov, Lidstrom, Datsuk, Zetterberg, and the highest pick out of all of them was Lidstrom at a 3rd round pick.
Oh my God. Ridiculous.
Back when like 3 teams had scouts overseas, so you could just scoop
Mm-hmm.
these guys up late.
Yeah, they were like trailblazers of sending their scouts to Sweden, I guess, and getting all those guys.
Crazy, crazy. Anyway, we'll wrap up the show there. So everyone, tune in. Game over Saturday afternoon. Couple of afternoon shows back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, Saturday. Gotta love that. And yeah, 11 a.m. Eastern start on Saturday. It's gonna be a weird
Yeah.
one.
I feel like I'm gonna end up waking up like at puck drop because I have a degenerate sleep schedule, so I'll have to set an alarm for sure.
Well, everyone watch. I'm telling everyone watch that game. And then watch Game Over, or don't watch the game and watch Game Over anyway.
Watch it anyway. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
let you
just watch
know.
Game
We'll
Over.
let you know how it went.
Everyone watch Game Over. Yeah, so with that, subscribe to SDPN if you're not subscribed. Like the stream. It would mean a lot if everyone hit like. I forgot to do that in the middle of the show. I usually try and do that. But hit the like button. It's and I know I say this every show. Everyone's tired of hearing smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. Go smash the like button. But no, like like genuinely, like the YouTube algorithm gods love likes. So everyone hit the like button. We really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Whether it's live or you're listening after the fact. And if you're listening after the fact, I think you should tune in live because it's a lot of fun if you got the time after the game. A lot of interaction with the chat. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's just a good time. I mean, we're biased. We obviously we think it's gonna be a good time, but
Always fun having people hanging out in chat. Love interacting with you guys.
Yes, every time it's fun, and even when the opposing team's fans chirping in the chat, because unfortunately, with being a Sens show, there's a lot of that following
sure.
losses. So, yeah, with that, I'm just gonna stop rambling. We're gonna end the show. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in, and see you on Saturday, Maude and Bosty.
Have a good night, everyone.